Welcome in, everybody, to the Power Hour. I'm Jeff Upson. Going to be joined here in a second by Eric Knopsnyder. And Eric, it's hard to believe, but it's Sunday. It's Valentine's Day. First of all, happy Valentine's Day to you, Eric.
Oh, thank you,
You're
Jeff. I've never gotten a Valentine's Day greeting from you before.
probably for good reasons.
Yeah, probably.
But it is what it is. Penn State wrestled this morning, so it was a good morning. We got to see Penn State wrestle Michigan. Good match. But it's the postseason, right? The individual postseason started yesterday for two districts. The team postseason, for whatever action there is, there was some team postseason action going on. We have a lot to dissect and break down going forward with the postseason, because there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of this is probably the year I've gotten the most questions from people saying who's wrestling where, what, when, super region. I feel like there's still people that still don't quite understand that. So we're going to try to break it down all for you tonight here. We're going to make sure that you have all the information and you know what's going on, especially for the district that you're interested in, or just wrestling in general. And I will say one thing, Eric, in looking at, and I've been spending kind of the last week just dissecting, going through each district, and some districts are better than others at posting information. And I've been reading a lot of articles, so shout out to our beat writers like Mitch Rupert, Brad Wilson, Tom Hausnick, everyone else that's out there writing articles on the postseason. The one thing I've learned, Eric, is especially in AAA, but also in AA, there's going to be a lot of good wrestlers that are not making it. They're not advancing very far, even as far as sections. So that and we're going to be doing a War Up episode after this one. Greg and I will be. So we'll talk more about the WPIAL, but there's a lot of districts out there that have subsections, sections, districts, regionals, super regionals, and states. There's a lot of places where guys are going to get bumped out just by virtue of the fact they're in a stacked weight class or in a stacked region, Eric. So, and I know you were involved with the District 5 seating a little bit, so you got a little bit of firsthand experience with that, but you know as well as I do, there's going to be a lot of guys sitting at home probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of known this all year, that this would be arguably the least fair process, in terms of what we've seen over the past couple of decades of who is going to be a state medalist, who's going to make that appearance in Hershey, all that stuff. We knew it wasn't going to be fair. I mean, are there districts that are going to get guys through that probably aren't as good as some guys from other districts that are left sitting at home? Yeah, but it's 2021 and it is what it is. I'll take an unfair state tournament versus no state tournament at all, right? I mean, so yeah, it sucks, especially for those guys that have worked their whole careers and would have a shot at Hershey this year. Maybe they're not going to place, but they can say, hey, I made it to the PA state tournament and I got to wrestle in the Giant Center, and it was an awesome experience. And unfortunately, yeah, there are going to be 8 of those guys in every weight class that aren't going to get that this year. But it's kind of take the hand that you're dealt and do the best you can with it.
I was listening to the Penn State Michigan match, and I think it was Shane Sparks who kept on saying Cale Sanderson, they had a lot of delays and postponements, and he said it is what it is. It is what it is. And that's kind of how I feel when I talk about the PA state tournament. Like, hey, it is what it is. Could it be better? Sure, absolutely. There could be things that could be better, but could it be worse? You better believe it. It could be worse. So, like you said, we're going to deal with the cards that we were dealt and move forward, and that's kind of where we're at right now in Pennsylvania. I think the first thing we should start out with is the team tournament. So, one, the PIAA has not quite come out and said officially when or if there's going to be a PA state dual team tournament. Now, yesterday, the WPIAL had their dual team tournament finals. Burrell beat Burgettstown, Waynesburg beat Seneca Valley. So we know that there's going to be one representative from each district. But that was the first and only real dual team tournament, if you will. District 3 is hosting their dual team tournament tomorrow, Monday. And in fact, they just moved their times up because apparently COVID's not enough. We got to have a massive snowstorm. So, for my old stomping grounds in District 3, apparently they moved their times up because of them and, the impending winter storm coming. Gettysburg, Central Dauphin, Daniel Boone, and Hempfield in AAA. and Northern Lebanon and Central Dolphins hosting. They're the top seed. Northern Lebanon's hosting in the Double A. That's wrestling tomorrow. So only 4 teams made it, and that was based off of power rankings. Now, other districts are just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. So District 10, for example, Cathedral Prep is the representative, and that's because no one else put in for it in AAA. In District 11, right, where we have teams such as Nazareth, Becca, Northampton, Easton. Nazareth is going to be the representative for AAA because they're the only team that put in for it. And Notre Dame Green Pond is going to be the AA representative because, again, they're the only team that put in for it. So they didn't even have to wrestle a dual team tournament. They just had to say who's interested, and these were the ones that were left. Now, I know in District 5, for example, Eric, Chestnut Ridge, I mean, I'm not going to say Chestnut Ridge is 100% guaranteed, but they're basically guaranteed to get in.
I want to stop you for 1 second.
Yeah.
You said Nazareth. It was Becca in District 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I say Nazareth? Yeah, Becca.
Yeah,
it is
okay.
Becca.
I'm like, wait a minute. I thought it was Becca.
It is Bethlehem Catholic. Yeah, Nazareth opted out.
Okay.
Becca is the one that's representative. So it's going to be Becca and Notre Dame Green Pond out of District 11. Now, in District 5, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, the highest team score at the District 5 tournament is going to be the representative at the PA State Dual Team Tournament. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. They're going to just crown a champion from what they do in the team standings at the individual tournament. We would assume that that's probably going to be Chestnut Ridge. The seeds came out today. They only have 4, which for Chestnut Ridge, only 4 top seeds in the district isn't that many. And Tussey Mountain actually has 3, so they're not that far off of them. But, until someone beats Chestnut Ridge, you got to figure they're going to be the District 5 representative. Kind of like Burrell in District 7.
Right. It's kind of like Burrell with the Whippeal, right? Until someone knocks off the 15-time champions from the Whippeal, you got to go with Burrell. It's kind of like Chestnut Ridge. So that's kind of how it looks. Now, what I'm hearing about the PIAA state tournament is that so remember, this is the whole problem with all this was locations and venue. So when the venues put in for a bid to host these state tournaments, and you remember Bryce Jordan Center threw their hat in the ring a few years ago when those contracts did open up. The Giant Center essentially has the right, they have to host their state tournaments at the Giant Center, right, where applicable. Now, what I'm being told is the PIAA team dual tournament is going to be held at Cumberland Valley High School. So they must have had something in place where they got an agreement or something because basketball has the Giant Center basically for like 2 weekends in a row because between District 3 and the state tournament. So the Giant Center was tied up. So what I'm hearing is it's going to be at Cumberland Valley, and it's going to be the end of March. So like March, I believe, let me pull up my calendar here. I believe it was March 27th is when it was going to be held. March 26th and 27th is what I'm hearing for the PIAA team tournaments. Now, whether they have regional rounds or pods beforehand, like play-in matches, if you will, that's yet to be determined. I would assume they're not going to bring in 12 teams to Cumberland Valley, but
advance.
To it, yeah. So I mean, again, that's all up in the air, and there has not been much of a discussion around that because I think a lot of folks are focusing on the individual postseason. Let's put it this way: the team postseason is essentially like a mess, right?
It's gravy. It's gravy, right?
Yes.
I mean, if we can get I know to Waynesburg, it's not. It's part of the main course. I get it. But for most of the schools in the state, it's like, hey, let's get the individual tournament. If we can do the postseason afterwards for the teams, great.
I would call it, I mean, since it's afterwards, I would call it more of like a cheesecake.
A dessert. Okay.
A dessert, right? Because you don't put gravy on your food when the main course is over, right?
Yeah, I think I know some people that do, but that's a different story.
Well, you do live in Somerset County, so I'll just leave that there. So the team tournament. So right now, if we look at the entries, so District 1, for example, they don't have. And I talked to Joe Youngblood, who's our D1 insider. They haven't.
I like that. Can we get that
yeah,
title for him if he ever comes on? D1 Insider.
Yeah, his @ on Twitter should be now D1 Insider. District 1 has not figured out quite what they're going to do to kind of crown a representative for the team state tournament. Same with District 2. District 4 and 9, I believe they're going to use the team standings for out of the District 4 and District 9 tournament. I don't quote me on that though. What's the word on District 6, Eric? Do you do anything?
District 6, yes, they are going to take the top 4 teams in the individual tournament, and then have a competition between those 4 after the week after the state individual tournament.
Is that for both Double A and Triple A?
That's my understanding. I mean, I spoke with Double A people, but I would assume that it would be the same. I mean, you wouldn't think, even though District 6 AAA is pretty small, you wouldn't think that you'd have different rules there. But that's what I was told. Like I said, that was a Double A person telling me that, and I didn't specifically ask about AAA, but I just kind of assumed that it would be that way. I mean, maybe they'll only take the top 2. I don't know.
Right.
AAA.
Yeah. So I think that kind of makes sense, and that's kind of the theme that most districts are operating off of. And like I said, I mean, there's only 2 districts in the state that have actually had somewhat of a dual team postseason, and that's District 7 and District 3. And District 3 hasn't really had anything. District 7, like they've been
full speed ahead on everything.
Full speed ahead. You know, complete. We're going. You know, we don't care. And of course, it's Waynesburg and Burrell, like 2 of the teams that we kind of knew were going to win the Whippeal tournament. So we kind of saw that coming. I'm be curious to see who would come out of District 6, because you got a lot of tough teams up there. I think Bellefonte's under the radar. State College, Central Mountain, shout out Biff Walliser for the shirt. There's a lot of good parity up there in the District 6. Same with District 11. I really wish we could have seen a Northampton, Nazareth, Becca, you know, throw them in a bag and toss them around and see who comes out. But hey, Becca, we'll take it. I mean, me personally, if I'm looking at the quote C's or anything, Waynesburg and Becca are 2 of the top teams in AAA. I mean, I said from the beginning, you should just mail the team tournament title to Waynesburg, Whippeal. I'm starting to think that's the same for the state tournament as well. But you know, we'll see. I know Waynesburg is very hungry and very excited that they want that state championship very bad, regardless of what the circumstances are. But that's kind of what the team tournament looks like right now. So, you know, as we get more information, we'll try to keep you updated. But right now, outside of that, those are the only really schools that we know that are going. As I mentioned, in District 10, Erie Prep is going to be that representative. District 11, as I said, Becca. District 12, this Philly City League. I'm not really sure. I almost said Silly League because I think of Philly as silly.
Wow, Freudian slip there.
Freudian slip for sure.
Busted on the Philly Silly League.
My sister lives in Philly. I should be careful. But their league has not had. In fact, they just started wrestling. The Pittsburgh City League, forget about it. District 8. You know, not that they're going to be any threat to anybody, but I have no idea what's going on there. And I live in the city of Pittsburgh, so you would think I would, but there's really not a lot of information out there. So, Eric, that's kind of the team stuff in a nutshell. And again, we are all operating off of presumptions and assumptions that the PIAA is actually going to host this. And again, I've only heard rumors, but I've also heard a lot of rumors about Cumberland Valley. So whether that's true or not is yet to be seen. Again, it's a mess. I feel like it's almost an afterthought to a lot of folks, a lot of coaches, districts, athletic directors. They're thinking more individual, and that's kind of what we're going to get into here in a second, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're saying. You know, it's all about the individual, because I mean, wrestling, that's one of the great things about our sport is that it's both an individual and a team sport, and there aren't many like it in that regard. That, you know, and I think we tend to rightfully so place the individual higher in most instances. You know, we love the dual meets and all that, but you know, we wrestle to get to that individual state tournament and see what guys can do there. And if we can do the other stuff, great. But I want to see those 13 champions crowned in Double A and the 13 in Triple A, and you know, we have a team champion from those standings. If we can do a dual meet tournament afterwards, awesome. That's even better. But let's get the individual stuff in, and then we'll move on from there.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where we're heading right now. So the individual postseason did officially kick off yesterday. And, you know, I have a hard time grasping the individual postseason in a normal year. And I've been doing this for a while because there's so much. I feel like a lot of things change year to year between subsections and the WPIAL, or different alignments, conferences in other districts. This year, because of COVID, things are a mess, right? And there's a lot of things that are uncertain, but we're starting to see the puzzle come together, the puzzle take shape. If you look at the District 1, so let's start in Double A, and let's start in District 1. District 1 and District 12 are a combined district, which hosts 11 teams. They're going to wrestle a tournament with the top 2 qualifiers making it to the Southeast region. The Southeast region in Double A consists of District 1 and 12, District 3, and District 11. Okay, so that's your Southeast region. So District 3 is going to be hosting their sectional tournament in Double A. It's actually starting this week. So if you look at where we're at in District 3, District 3 is going to be hosting on the 20th. They have their Section 1 and Section 2 in Double A. And then they go right into this is literally the day after, they're wrestling a District 3 tournament at Central Dauphin East. So on the 20th, it's kind of like the WPIAL, what the WPIAL's doing with their tournament in Double A. So in District 3, you have your, quote, sectionals on the 20th, which is Saturday. Then from there, you'll wrestle in the District 3 tournament on Sunday, the 21st, at Central Dauphin East High School. So not a very quick turnaround for those wrestlers that are going to be competing in the District 3 tournament. So District 3 will have 4 qualifiers make it to the Southeast Regional. District 11 has 2 qualifiers. And what I'm hearing out of District 11 is they're going to be hosting just a straight up tournament, essentially. I'm still, Brad Wilson put out a really good story in the Lehigh Valley Express, and what he said in his article is the Double A schedule looks like this. So on Friday, I'm sorry, let me just double check, make sure I have that right before, because there's a lot of
Yeah, I don't know how you keep track of all this.
It's a lot.
My head's spinning just looking at the document you sent me with all of the different times and the sectionals. And yeah, with sectionals, districts, regionals, sub-regionals, states, this is a really confusing process, and everyone is doing it a little bit differently, and different qualifiers and all that stuff. So yeah, keeping track of it is not an easy task by any means.
So District 12 in 2A and Double A, they're going to have an upper bracket and a lower bracket. So I believe how that's going to work, and this is just kind of what I've been told, because there's 21 schools in Double A and District 11. So what I believe is they're doing a bracket of I believe 8 at the top, 8 at the bottom. I believe that to be true. I can't say for certain. So they're going to have an upper bracket and a lower bracket. They're going to have preliminary rounds. This is on Saturday the 20th. 4 mats, then quarterfinals on 2 mats. Then they're going to have first round consolations on 2, second round consolations on 4. Then they're going to have the lower bracket come in at 4, do preliminary round, quarterfinals, so on and so forth. Then Sunday they come back, do semifinals, consi quarters, consi semifinals, and then finals. And that's for both lower and upper brackets. That's what I have been told. That's what is going to happen. And if you look at the amount of qualifiers, again, only the top 2 from District 11 make the Southeast Regional Tournament. So that's 21 teams, 2 of the top guys. That's a lot. You look at Saucon Valley, Notre Dame, all those programs out there, only 2 are making it out. That's not a whole heck of a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see what 2 make it out in a lot of these different weights.
Well, and we talk every year about how, in the PIAA bases their numbers on exactly that, numbers. They say, okay, this district has the most schools, so it's getting the most qualifiers out. It's not like the NCAA where we say, okay, District 11 had 3 place winners at this weight, and they deserve to get more guys through. It's straight up, okay, more schools equal more qualifiers. And we deal with that in a regular year, and we're going to deal with it even more in this year whenever those numbers are reduced.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like you said, with this year, I mean, it is a numbers game to be fair. So both the districts. So I want to kind of stay on AAA before going into AA. So that's what the Southeast region looks like. And the Southeast region, again, in AA consists of districts 1 and 12, which is a combined district. They have 2 qualifiers. They have District 3, which will have 4 qualifiers. And then District 11, which has 2 qualifiers. So when you look at that and you're saying, well, how the heck does District 1 and 12 with 11 schools, with 12 probably not having many fielding schools anyways, how do you get 2 in District 11 only? That's the big question out east, is everyone's saying, well, District 11 is getting screwed because District 1 and District 12 aren't very good, yet they get the same amount of qualifiers, right? So, which, I mean, I get, it's a fair argument, but you have to have some system in place where, all right, this is what we're going off of. This is how we're going to operate with the numbers. And it sucks for those guys in District 11, but it is what it is. That's the way you got to do it. So you look at District 3, it's kind of interesting because you have 34 teams in District 3 in AA. There's 17 teams in each section. Only 8 wrestlers will be wrestling in those section tournaments. So this is where you come into who's deciding on who's wrestling. So of those 17 schools, you're going to have only 8 that make it to that sectional tournament. So the coaches are doing like a seeding type meeting, and they're going to try to figure out who is wrestling in those top 8s. There's a lot of districts that are doing it like that. District 1, for example, in AAA is doing it like that. Which, Eric, what are your thoughts on that?
That's where I really feel bad. I mean, I can handle Joey didn't get to make it to states because they only took 3 guys this year versus 5 that they normally take or whatever. But whenever you don't even get the opportunity to go out there and show what you can do in your section, that stinks. I mean, I feel bad for those kids because there are kids out there that, not that it's been a very long season and you could have started off really poorly and picked up steam, but that there are guys that came in and either weren't in shape right whenever it started, or, were just new to varsity and struggling a little bit. And now they're kind of finding their feet and maybe really starting to peak at the right time, which is what we always stress. You want to be peaking, get ready for the postseason. And then they're like, oh, nope, sorry, you didn't even get to go to your section because, there are 8 other guys that we decided are better than you. And so you don't even get a chance to prove yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, right? And District 1, and talking to our D1 insider Joe Youngblood, there's gonna be a lot of hurt feelings, right? And specifically when you look at that, like 8 to 9, or that 7 to 8 wrestler, that's gonna be pretty tough. So, you again, I guess, as to quote Cale Sanderson, it is what it is, but it's still not. That doesn't make it necessarily easy to swallow, right? And
no.
That's pretty tough. So when you look at District 3, that's kind of the way that things have been going, that you're going to have those top 8 wrestlers. It's 8-man double elimination, 6 different venues, or I'm sorry, 2 different venues, but 6 will place for advance. So from those AA sectionals, you'll have an 8-man bracket. Again, that's whittled down from 17 schools. Now, granted, in AA in District 3, you may only have at 106, you may only have 10 schools with a 106 pounder. However, that means you're getting rid of 2, right? So that's kind of tough. They'll place up to 6, then 4 will advance into the District 3 tournament. So you'll have 4 from each section come back on Sunday to wrestle in that District 3 tournament. Now, the District 3 tournament at Central Dauphin East will have up to 6 placers, and 4 will advance onto the district tournament. A lot of confusion here, Eric. So
I
it's
just got
kind of a
numbers
mess.
spin around in my head. I don't know if it's like there's some TV show or something, where like math whizzes and they're just like all these equations flying in and out. And that's just what I see whenever you start talking about all this is like, District 3 has X and District 4 has Y. And if they're on a train headed towards Chicago.
Yeah, it's how do you think my brain can function? My brain's not nearly as developed as yours. You went to Pitt, I went to WVU, so clearly,
Oh, wow. I don't think you really believe that,
I
but
don't
I'll
mean
take that compliment.
I don't mean that, but
You
shout
got a
out.
little bit you got other things on your mind too. You got Baby Watch.
Stop that. This is my hour to focus on wrestling. Okay. So
I
District
thought you'd
3
already have those 14-year rankings, like 2025 top incoming freshmen.
No, I don't have the
report out.
2025 incoming freshman on my
We
mind.
we
right
know
now.
who's going to be number one on that list.
Bo Bassett.
No,
What?
the Upson
Oh, the ups. Yeah, probably.
wrestler Upson.
Wrestler. No, let's come on, Eric. You're sidetracking me.
All right.
So the Southeast region, they advance 5 to the Super region. So again, Southeast will come together. District 3 will send 4. District 1 and 12 send 2. District 11 sends 2. That makes 8. They'll have 5 wrestlers from those 8 make it to the Super region in the East, where they'll link up with the folks from Northeast region. Now, I mentioned how some of these tournaments have already started. Well, the District 4 sectionals took place yesterday. And there's actually some really good wrestling going on in the District 4 tournament. So the District 4 has sections, and it's Central, North, and South. So 3 tournaments happened yesterday at Montgomery, Athens, and Shamokin. And the brackets are already out for the District 4 tournament next weekend, the 20th, at Williamsport. So from those, and you can check those out on PAWrestling.com. Mike Lester and his team do a great job of keeping up to date on those brackets. Out of those District 4 wrestlers, 5 will make it to the Northeast region. So in the Northeast region, you have District 2 and District 4. District 2 is sending 3 wrestlers. Now, District 2 just recently announced that they're going to be hosting their tournament at Mohegan Sun Arena. And when I think of Mohegan Sun, I think of a casino, not an arena. But apparently there is an arena named after Mohegan Sun that's going to be wrestling in District 2. So District 2 is going to be sending a total of 3 wrestlers to the Northeast region. Again, 5 wrestlers from the District 4 district. So that's 8. They'll be sending 3 to the Super region. So the Northeast and the Southeast regions combined to make the East Super region. Again, 3 from the Northeast, which the Northeast consists of District 2 and District 4. And then 5 from the Southeast, which consists of Districts 1 and 12, District 3, and District 11. So of those 8 that make it there, 4 advance on to the big show, right? The basically the placement round of the PIAA tournament, Eric. Have I confused you yet?
Absolutely.
What are your questions? You got any questions? I'm here to answer. I feel like I have office hours, and I'm here to answer.
I know that 8 guys are going to be in Hershey in AA and 8 in AAA, and I'm good with that. I'll trust you to know how the process of how they all got there.
Well, I mean, the process is important, right? Because you're going to have.
And I give you full credit. I don't understand how you can keep track of the full state like this. Like, I've got my Southwest AA region, and I've got a grip on that. But man, to try to do that with all of the different regions between AA and AAA, that's a pretty tall task.
So, for example, you out of the District 4 sectional tournament that was wrestled yesterday, the top 3 made it to the District 4 tournament. And again, those brackets are online right now. You can look at some of those, weights. And again, I feel like I should have a pop quiz for you, Eric. How many people from the District 4 tournament make it to the Northeast tournament?
I would fail gloriously.
All right, it's 5. So you look at 113. You've got Gavin Bradley, 30-0. Brady Feast from Southern Columbia, very tough. Robert Gardner, 29-0. Caden Milham, 11-1. You've got Rocky Finnegan from Sullivan County, 11-5. There's some tough wrestlers that are in that bracket. Go to 120, kind of the same thing. You've got a lot of studs that are vying for spots, these top 5 finishes. Those fifth place matches are going to be, I mean, those are essentially your blood rounds, right? Those are your matches that determine if you're going to advance to the next round. 126. So get this. 126 on the top half of the bracket, you have Gable Strickland, who just recently committed to Lock Haven. Shout out Gable Strickland. He's a senior, 23-0. Also on the top, you have Cole Bisco from Southern Columbia, who was a state runner-up, and Hunter Manahan from Wyalusing, who's 10-4. So really, it's a Strickland and Cole Bisco. And on the bottom half, you have Seth Seymour, Scott Johnson, who's a sophomore, Gabe Gramley, who's a returning state medalist from Mifflinburg, all in the bottom half. So, again, wow. I know you said like trust the process, but these, they're gonna have 5 guys. Now, I'm hoping that the best 5 are, I think they did a pretty good job of quote seeding the District 4 tournament. So I think the top 5 will definitely be in the mix. But man, there's some weights here where you're just like, how is that even right? Now let's not forget that of those 5 that advance onto the Northeast region, only three wrestlers make it to the Super region from the Northeast region. Again, that's District 2 and District 4. So, that's, I know the process can be wonky, but man, Eric, there's a lot of wrestlers that could be sitting at home after the 20th.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, we know that's going to happen. Unfortunately, there are a lot of good guys that aren't going to get the medals this year that they would have in another year.
All right, so now let's hop on over to the Northwest region. The Northwest region in AA consists of District 9 and District 10. In District 9, there's 15 schools in the Northwest, or I'm sorry, in District 9 out of the Northwest region. In District 10, there's 30 schools. So the District 10 tournament actually it already started. So they had the District 10 sectionals yesterday. They had sections 1, 2, 3, and 4 all compete yesterday, various locations, various high schools. So then they'll have the District 10 tournament on the 18th. Okay, the 18th. If I looked at the calendar, Eric, when's the 18th? It's Thursday, right?
Right.
So Thursday, you're going to come back and wrestle at the District 10 tournament. And I'm sorry, that's 20th. I apologize. I mixed up. So now I'm confusing myself. AA is the 20th. AAA is the 18th. So I apologize. AA is going to be on Saturday the 20th at Sharon High School. That is already determined who's going to be there. So when you look at the District 10 sectional brackets, you can figure out who's all advancing there. From that District 10 tournament, 5 then make it to the Northwest region. So 5 wrestlers from District 10 will make it to the Northwest region. 9 will send 3. So they had their seeding meeting today. In fact, I was emailing back and forth with the tournament director to see if they had seeds for that, and I haven't gotten them yet. But those are your Brookvilles, those schools up there. So whether they're going to be looking to kind of hang in there with the District 10 teams, it's yet to be determined, because you look at the amount of out of those 3 qualifiers from District 9 matched up with those 5 from District 10, only 3 of those make it to the Super region. So, and that's when they link up with your boys out of the Southwest region, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Southwest, I can break that down for you, I believe, in AA at least. There you've got 2 coming out of District 5. District 6, you've got 4 different sections, and that starts on Tuesday. So on Tuesday night, you've got 4 sections going, and the top 2 in each weight will advance from that section to the District 6 AA tournament in Altoona on Saturday. And there, I mean, it's not quite as bad as what you were talking about some of the places, but like the section there, just looking at section 2, you've got at 106, you've got Jason Bainey Landon Bainey from West Branch. You've got Lucas Fye. So Bainey is 14-0, Fye is 10-2, and then Colton Shunk hasn't gotten a lot of matches in. He's only 4-1, but we know he's a solid wrestler. And so you've only got 3 guys in the weight, but only one of them's going to be sitting at home and won't even be able to get to the District 6 tournament. So, I mean, to me, those are 3 of the top guys in the region, and one of them's not going to make it to his district tournament.
Yeah, and that's again, kind of sound like a broken record, but that's kind of par for the course, right? Now your District 6 sectionals, there's 4 of them, correct?
Correct.
So how many advance from each section to the district tournament?
2 from each section, move on, so you get your 8 at the district tournament in Altoona.
Okay, and then from there, how many advance from the District 6 tournament to the Southwest Regional?
It is. Is it?
I can answer for you.
Okay, go ahead, because I just got
It's
confused
3.
now. Is it 2, 3, and then so that's 5, and then 3 from
It's
District
2, 3,
7.
and 5. It's so if you look at District 6 in Double A, okay,
Yeah.
there's 3 the top 3 wrestlers out of District 6 make it to the Southwest
Right.
region. Okay.
Right. So you
And
get
this is where
2,
I
3,
wish that the super region was not named the super region, because it causes some discrepancy when you say they advance on the regionals. But District 6 will send 3 to the Southwest region. So you have the top 2 from each section in District 6 Double A that make it to the District 6 tournament, which makes up your 8 wrestlers. From those 8, they whittle it down to 3. Those 3 will make it to the Southwest region. District 5 sends 2, right? The top 2. District 7 will send 3. So you got 2, 3, 3. So the Whitfield will send 3 over to the Southwest region. Now from that, you have 8 wrestlers. 2 from 5, 3 from 6, 3 from 7. Of those 8 wrestlers, 5 make it to the South or the West Super Region, Eric. So it's for you, if you're coming from District 6, it's 2, 3, 5, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So what else can you tell us
yeah,
about?
where you confused me was I thought you were saying 2, 3, and 5 from the Whitfield. I'm like, wait, no, only 3 from the Whitfield.
Right. Yeah. So only 3 from the Whitfield, and kind of like I said earlier, when you look at how the Whitfield is broken down, they're going to have their subsections, their sections tournament, or actually their subsections. I shouldn't confuse you, but their subsections. So this is where the wheels really fall off. Not only do you have sections, you have subsections within those sections, which is absolutely bonkers, but nonetheless, here we are. And you look at what the subsections look like here in Double A. For example, you have section 1A. That's Burgettstown, Shar Houston, Fort Cherry, Keystone Oaks, South Park, and Washington. 1B, Bentworth, Beth Center, Fraser, Jefferson Morgan, McGuffey, and West Green. So what they'll do in District 7 in the Whitfield, they'll have 6 subsections in round-robin format on the 16th. So this week, and Greg and I are going to talk about this on the Power Hour. So if you're lost right now, stay tuned.
You're confusing your podcast. You're going to talk about it on War Up.
Yeah,
this is the Power Hour.
I'm sorry, on War Up. I'm sorry. I got
you got all these numbers going around
in my head.
Your head.
I got numbers in my head. I got babies in my head. It's all kind of crazy. On the 16th of February, we're going to have 6 subsections wrestled in Double A. The top 2 wrestlers at each weight. And now this is round robin. This is going to be a round robin format. And again, we're going to talk about that on War Up, how those are broken down. But those are all going to happen in round robin format. Then the top 2 wrestlers advance to the sectional tournament, which is on the 19th. So you wrestle the 16th in your subsections. Then you wrestle on the 19th at Canamac in your sectional tournament. The following day, the top 2 from that section will wrestle in the Whitfield tournament again at Canamac High School. So you wrestle, if you're in Double A in the Whitfield, this is your road. Subsection round robin on the 16th. Sectional tournament on the 19th at Canamac. So, there's 3 sections. You have 2 from each section. Okay? The top 2 then make it to the sectional tournament that will then advance on to the Whitfield tournament. So you'll have 2 wrestlers from each section, right? So you have 3 sections. You have 2 wrestlers that make it to the Whitfield tournament. Again, that's the next day at Canamac. So that's the 19th and 20th. So you're wrestling the 16th, the 19th, and the 20th. Your subsections, your sections, and your Whitfield tournament. That's a lot of wrestling right there. And then again, those top 3 at the Whitfield tournament will make it to the Southwest region, which is at Altoona. Correct? Or is that IUP, Eric? I can't.
IUP.
Yeah, IUP.
Regional and super regional are both at IUP.
And
one thing you didn't talk about at all, Jeff, is we've talked about how this is going to be a year where you don't necessarily get the best 8 guys in the state on the podium in Hershey. And that's just from the standpoint of who is able to get there. That doesn't even include the fact that you're wrestling all those matches in a couple of day span, though. So you get an injury that maybe wouldn't have knocked you out of the postseason in a quote unquote normal year. But now a little injury that, kind of flares up and you can't wrestle 2 days later, all of a sudden now you're losing guys to injury. And then COVID itself that is somebody's going to get contact traced or unfortunately get COVID itself and be unable to wrestle. So, I mean, it's really going to be kind of a crapshoot as to who, we still think the best guys are going to end up on top, but there are going to be a lot of guys that aren't there that are really good for one reason or another.
Yeah, it's those middle tier guys, right? It's those guys that and let's be honest, there could be a situation where the top 3 wrestlers end up having to sit out because of contact tracing. I mean, we're talking about a long time. You're talking about 5 weeks that you have to steer clear, over a month that you have to steer clear of the COVID, right? That's
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and one thing that really stunned me was to find out that in District 5, they have 2 teams that are wrestling this Thursday. They're wrestling a dual meet on Thursday night, and then there are 4 wrestle-in matches on Friday
Why
to
would
get
you
into
do
the
that?
district tournament. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I just hope that somebody doesn't get a positive test or contact trace there. I mean, that could wipe out the whole district.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. So that's why you saw teams like Hempfield and Franklin Regional backing out from the Whippeal team tournament because they're like,
Right.
one, we're not going to win. 2, it's within those 10 days that we would be required to quarantine. So why are we risking this? I mean, I would ask the same question. Why are you wrestling on a Thursday when you're going to be wrestling in your district tournament and could potentially wipe out the entire district?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a meaningless dual meet. I mean, they're neighboring schools, they wrestle each other every year, and I get it. They want to get a dual meet in, but man, you're putting a lot on the line there if something happens at this dual meet that you find out somebody has, like we said, contact traced or has COVID itself.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So Eric, are you pretty much set on AA? Like, I mean, you are what you looked a little confused earlier. So
I look a little confused a lot of times, but yeah, okay. that time for sure.
Okay, so you have 4 regions, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Northeast,
and then,
Northwest, Southeast, Southwest. The Southwest and the Northwest combined to form the West Super Region. So of those, so you're gonna have 5 wrestlers from the Southwest, which is probably the deepest region in the state in AA at least, because you got 5, 6, and 7. They're going to combine to meet with Northwest in the West Super Region. Again, 3 from the South or 3 from the Northwest, 5 from the Southwest to form 8, and 4 go on to the state tournament in Hershey. So
that's going to be a fun day at IUP. I know the process sucks and all that, but man, those are going to be some awesome matches in that super regional. I mean, those are state medal round matchups there that you're going to get.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, you look at, and especially when you whittle it down, like, I mean, maybe if you have the top 2 in District 5, I mean, there's at least one good kid at District 5. I think there's at least one state ranked kid from District 5 in all the state rankings. I would think. I'd have to go back and look. But you look at the District 6, those top 3 guys from District 6 are tough. Those top 3 guys from the Whippeal are all studs. So you have all them in that same bracket. Like you said, these are medal round matches at the Southwest Regional Tournament, not let alone the Super Regional Tournament when you throw in the Northwest. So,
right.
And again, the Northwest already started because District 10 started wrestling already. I was just checking my email to see if I got any seeds for the AA tournament out of District 9, but I did not see them yet. That's going to happen on Saturday, February 20th. That's going to be at 9 o'clock. So you're going to see District 9 compete in their tournament. And again, out of District 9, the top 3 make it to the Northwest Regional. So that's AA. Before we go over to AAA, let's stop and talk to Nick Fuller from the Tactical Mind. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
This is the Tactical Mind, and I work with athletes in the field of sports psychology as a cognitive performance coach. Within 5 minutes of talking to a parent, they make the connection right away that this would be great for my kid to have when they're in college, when they're just going through the ups and downs of high school. Who wouldn't benefit from having more self-awareness? Who wouldn't benefit from having the ability to self-regulate our emotions and our counterproductive thoughts? Who wouldn't benefit from having more optimism, not just on the field, but in life?
Wrestle him the way he is.
So on the commercial break, Eric and I were just talking about the mask rule. So Eric, can you because there's a mask form now, because that was one of the big questions that we had.
Yeah, this is actually, I don't think it's actually been released yet. From what I was told, Wednesday it's coming. But essentially what it boils down to is every school has to say, okay, these are the guys who do not have to wear a mask when they wrestle. They're exempt from it. And we list their names. And then if your school says that you have to wear a mask and your opponent has to wear a mask, and you come up against this guy whose name is on that list that does not have to wear a mask, then you either wrestle him as is or you forfeit. So this is going to play a big role in the postseason.
All right, so I'm looking at the form right now. So you have to kind of say this beforehand, right? So it says any student or team that enters tournament consents to participate against a school or individual who has been granted a mask exemption. So essentially you would have to wrestle someone even if they don't wear a mask because you consent to it, right?
No. Yes. But the big thing is that these schools have to list the guys who do not have to wear a mask. So, I mean, the schools that I'm talking to are like, every one of my guys is going to be on there. Like, nobody on my team is going to have to wear a mask. So this is going to be a really divisive issue whenever we get to this, because I've already seen it. We've seen the tweets, guys saying, hey, my district says we have to wear a mask. How come these other guys in the Whippy or wherever aren't wearing masks?
So, okay. So let me get this straight, because you kind of just dropped this bomb on me in the middle of this. Not that I have enough going through my head right now. So you have this form, this PIAA postseason COVID-19 universal face covering certification form. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And it basically says these are the wrestlers who are exempt. They qualify for a medical exemption for their health, that they do not have to wear a mask. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we can just say all of my team is going to be on that list, right? Now I have another district. I have another school district who says, so we kind of ran into this with Max Stout from Mount Lebanon, because I believe Mount Lebanon was saying you can't wrestle against somebody who doesn't wear a mask. So if you have an exemption, and now some other school district says, well, you have to wear a mask. So essentially you can either forfeit or you can wear a mask and wrestle
and the
somebody.
Other guy doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is putting the onus on those schools that say we're not wrestling anybody who doesn't have a mask. They're now forced to wrestle that guy who has an exemption or forfeit.
Wow. I mean, how many schools do you think there are out there, Eric, that actually have the rule in place that says, like, if you're wrestling, your opponent has to wear a mask? Do you know if there are many? Because like different conferences say you have to wear masks. But when it comes to this, seems
like, from what I've seen, it seems like out east is much more restrictive. Like, that's where most of the complaints that I'm seeing are directed towards the Whippy, and they're saying, man, none of these guys in the Whippy are wearing masks, but everybody here is required, and they're stopping our matches if the mask falls down. Like, I mean, I think I've seen in the hundreds of individual matches I've seen this year, I've seen like 2 that were stopped to pull up a mask. I mean, most of them, they go out, they have it on, and then 10 seconds in, it's a chin diaper, and they're not wearing it the rest of the time.
I mean, let's get one thing straight: those masks have got to go. There's no reason why we should be wrestling in masks. Let's get that right out front. But however, this really does change the game, Eric. If what you're saying is this form
that's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
That's what I've been the people that I've talked to, that's what they've told me, is that if you're on that list, you don't have to wear a mask, and anybody that wrestles you has to say, I'm going to wrestle you or I'm going to forfeit.
So like you look at different conferences. So like with the Mid-Penn in District 3 says you have to wrestle each other with mask on. Do they really have jurisdiction to say, okay, well, when you're wrestling someone from the West, you have to wear a mask? I feel like that's an individual school decision, not a conference. So like your school can say, yeah, you're allowed to wrestle. Like, so you have 2 options, right? One, the school may say you have to wear a mask and you shall not wrestle anyone who's not wearing a mask. Then you have to forfeit if you wrestle someone without an exemption, right? Or they can say, yeah, you can wrestle that person who's not wearing a mask, but you have to wear a mask, and then that puts you at a physical,
Right.
kind of limitation, if you will. So yeah, this is huge, and you kind of just dropped this on me, so my brain's a little scrambled right now.
I apologize. I saw it this morning, and I thought I sent it out to the PA Power group, but I looked back, and I guess I didn't, because I saw it, and there was discussion about it at the district meeting I was at, and it kind of came up, and that's what some of the schools are like. Hey, all of our guys are going to be on that list. None of our guys are going to be required to wear it during competition. So.
Wow.
Now,
Well,
but there was one school that I heard that in the district that is really going to stand by their guns, that they have a guy that's top seed in the district, and he may not be able to wrestle if his opponent doesn't wear a mask.
so you're saying that they may have the hard and fast rule that if your opponent
Yes.
does not wear a mask, you
That
can't
was
wrestle.
that was the scuttlebutt. I mean, none of this is official yet that how this is going to go, but that was the fear, was that one of these kids, his school was going to say, hey, look, you can't wrestle someone who isn't wearing a mask. So if he doesn't have a mask on, you have to forfeit.
That's
And I mean, like I said, he's the top seed in the district.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the Catholic, Catholic
Right, that's
schools and
exactly
girls.
what it's like.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of similarities there. It's like to say like Notre Dame Green Pond has a wrestler who goes out, and it's a girl who comes out from the other team. They have to forfeit that match. So it's kind of like you run out with a mask on, your opponent runs out without a mask on. You're like, crap.
Well, that's what I was worried about with maxed out. I was glad to hear wrestle someone without it, because I mean that would stink if a maxed out has to forfeit because the guy he's wrestling doesn't have a mask on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You really just kind of screw things
Sorry,
up. For me,
I
Eric.
like I
mean,
said, I've been trying to get this to you, but it's been a crazy day.
It has. I know you've been busy. I've been busy. So yeah. So that's the masking in a nutshell, and we will, I promise you, revisit that because. So I would be curious to know, and if anyone knows this, District 10, District 4, did they have masks on this past weekend? I'd be curious to know.
It's interesting because where I saw it is Bob Matthews is a District 10 guy, right?
Right.
Isn't that
Yeah.
where he's from?
Yeah. Northwest
he's
region
the one
guy.
He's the one who tweeted it out this morning. That's where no, I'm sorry, it wasn't. Was it Bob or Bob Montgomery? I'm sorry, I'm getting my Bobs mixed up.
No, I think it was. I think you were right. It was Bob Greensburg. It was Bob Greenberg.
Yeah, Bob Greenberg. There we go. It's a Bob.
It was a Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And I'll retweet that once we're done with this. But yeah, there's the masking thing could be a huge hurdle to a lot of wrestlers. And we got to get some clarity from schools to say whether or not they're allowing their wrestlers to compete against a wrestler who's not wearing a mask. That's the key there, right? Can I compete against somebody even if they don't wear a mask? Can I wrestle with a mask and they don't wrestle with a mask on? It's kind of confusing because when we get to the inner, the sub-regions, the regions, whatever you want to call them, and then the super regions, this is where we're really going to start seeing the issues. And the WPIAL, like I've seen all year, is there's not really a masking quote requirement. And again, a lot of the schools that will say the wrestlers have to wear masks, they're around their neck anyways. They're neck warmers. Like I don't get. I mean, I don't get the mask period, but that's neither here or there. So we're off track a little bit here, Eric. So let's get back on track.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw us into confusion there, but I did feel like it was an important thing to bring up.
That is a very important thing to bring up. So let's go over to AAA and talk about how the qualification works for that. So district, if you look at the regions, the Northeast region in AAA consists of District 2, District 11, District 12. District 2 is going to have their own tournament. The top two from there will make it to the Northeast region. District 11, again, we talked about it in AA. They're going to have an upper and a lower bracket. They're going to wrestle them basically through because in District 11, there's only 21 schools in AAA that have wrestling. So you're going to have an upper and lower bracket. The top three from District 11 will make it to the Northeast region. So on a normal year, that would be 5. You're down to 3. So again, there's a lot of depth in District 11, especially in AAA. You're probably going to lose some guys, some good guys that would compete that aren't making it to the district or the regional tournament. Now, District 12 has 18 schools. They also get 3. So there's again your complaint there. Well, how does District 11 only get 3 and District 12, who has 18 schools and aren't very good, get 3 as well? I mean, again, it's all numbers. So in the Northeast region, District 2, 11, and 12, total of 8 wrestlers, 2 from District 2, 3 from both District 11, District 12, 4 from the Northeast region. 4 from the Northeast region make it to the Super region out east. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing because Southeast region is the District 1. District 1 is split between North and South. And this is where our D1 insider, Joe Youngblood, was really good at kind of letting us know what was going there. District 1 AAA individual postseason will start the 20th. They'll have a North and South. There's 28 teams in both the North and the South. They are going to seed it based on power rankings for the top 8. So that is a lot of wrestlers in District 1 who are not even going to have a chance to wrestle in the individual postseason. So, you know, you have 28 teams. And now, of course, not all 28 teams are going to have a kid at every single weight class, but there's a significant amount of kids that are not even going to get a chance to wrestle in the postseason. So you whittle it down to 8 in each section. You know, and again, the top 4 from each section will make it to the District 1 tournament, which is also a self-contained region, the Southeast region. You know, that's where there's, you know, I would love to be a fly on the wall inside those seating rooms when you're debating between a kid number 8 and number 9 and a kid who's like, hey, your season just ended. Hope you enjoyed it. You know, maybe your career just ended and you didn't even wrestle a match.
It's probably a good thing that these are probably conducted over Zoom meetings, because I'm guessing there'd be some fist fights breaking out if you had these people in one room and you're telling them, no, your kid isn't going to get to wrestle anymore because we think this kid's better.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll give you an example. So District 2, there's 13 teams in AA, 14 in AAA. They're going to have 8-man, I'll call them 8-man, even though that's not gender neutral, 8-man brackets. However, they're going to have what's called like a single elimination wrestle-in round before that. So they'll wrestle in, you know, if you lose, you're out, but it's a wrestle-in round to get into those top 8.
Same thing in District 5. They only have 10 schools, so there aren't many that they have, but they do have 4 weights where they're, you know, they have enough guys that they have to have a wrestle-in. So they're going to do that on Friday night. And, you know, I like that better than just arbitrarily saying no. And especially in a normal year, this would be bad whenever we have 30 and 40 matches to look at and say, okay, this is how this guy compares to this kid, and did they match up and all this. But when you're looking at some of these schools have 5 and 6 matches in, how do you adequately say that kid isn't as good as this guy who has 25 matches in? We just don't know.
Right. And that's the problem. Like if you would seed, so for example, like Nazareth, you know, Nazareth, I had 1 dual meet. That's it. You know, they're one of the top teams in the state. They have a slew of top-ranked wrestlers. Now, you only have 1 match. Some of those wrestlers did not wrestle, so you come in with a 0-0 record. They're like, back of the line. You're like, are you kidding me? This guy's a returning state medalist, but he didn't wrestle. So, you know, I mean, I feel for these teams and these wrestlers that are going to miss it. I like the idea of a single wrestle-in round where it's single elimination. You get a chance. Hey, you get a shot. You get a shot to wrestle. You know, if you make it, you make it. If you don't, hey, at least I got to lose. At least my season ended on the mat, not necessarily behind a computer screen, right? And
couldn't they have seen this coming? I mean, couldn't they have started a week earlier, like some of these places did, and said, hey, let's have, you know, like the tournament that you were just at, the Westmoreland County tournament, how they had, you know, a Friday night. They had a Friday night bracket where they said, okay, we've got our top 4 seeds for Saturday. Everybody gets a bye there. And the 8 through 12 guys, or 5 through 12 guys, we're going to wrestle them on Friday night, and they're going to wrestle for their seeds and get into an 8-man bracket. You know, that's awesome. That way those guys who aren't as good get a little bit of experience. It's better than them going 0-2 on the Saturday and getting knocked out, or like this, not even getting an opportunity. So, I mean, there's got to be some better thinking, somebody forward thinking that could have come up with this ahead of time instead of just saying, oh, we're going to say these top 8 guys get in and no one else.
Yeah, I mean, you're like you said, it's lack of pre-plans, lack of forward thinking, but it's also, you know, I mean, they're looking at like the hassle and I'm sure they're looking at it in terms of, you know, the hassle and the time that would go into it. Now, you have to remember, in Southeast region, there's 61 teams in the Southeast region, which is District 1, right? Self-contained region. So you have 61 teams. That's a heck of a lot of schools to kind of manage and to kind of, figure out schedules and where you're going to host it, because I've been hearing one of the hardest things that ADs and organizers are having trouble with is finding places to host. That's why the Mohegan Sun was so big for District 2, because now they said, all right, we can get this many people in to this arena based on venue size as compared to a high school gym. So I get that, especially with the Southeast, but it's also not fair that out of 27, 28 schools, only 8 wrestlers based on your body of work for the year. Like that's not right, but it is. Well,
and like we said, in this year especially, because like you said, there's guys that have only gotten to wrestle a match or two. I mean, they haven't been able to show what they can do. That's not right.
Right. Well, that's the way it is, Eric. So in AAA, again, Northeast region, District 2, 11, and 12, 2 from District 2, and that will be a true second, I believe. From what I read, the District 2 will have a true second if necessary to advance on to the Northeast region. District 11 will have 3. District 12 will have 3. Those 8 wrestlers, 4 will make it to the Super region. So out of the Northeast region, you'll be sending 4. And they combine with the Southeast, which is also going to be taking 4. So out of 61 schools, you get 4 wrestlers from the Southeast, which is District 1. So again, you have 2 sections, North and South. And from what I'm told, there was infighting about what schools should be in the North, what schools should be in the South. They figured it out, and people were happy. But again, only 4 from each one of those sections makes it to the District 1 tournament or the Southeast Regional. Then only 4 from there will make it to the Super region with District 11. So let's not even, when we get to the West Super region, this is where I'm going to probably lose my mind, because it is so skewed. The amount of talent on the West with the South Central, the Northwest, and the Southwest versus the Southeast and the Northeast. It's incredible. Just looking at, and I just released some super regional rankings that kind of highlight that, Eric. And there's some real differences between the two regions, between East and West.
Yeah, and I get that, but again, to me, I can live with that. At least these guys got a chance to get on the mat and show what they can do. And yeah, you're right. It's not fair the way the breakdown is, but at least they had an opportunity to wrestle and prove it. The thing that really bothers me is those kids that don't get a chance to even, because that's the one thing we say about wrestling is, hey, everybody likes to say the rankings don't matter. You get a chance to go out there and prove it. It's all on you, what you do. And that's not true in this case. It's like,
no.
Oh, nope, sorry, we're going by the rankings.
Actually, the rankings do matter in this case. For all those times that people are like,
absolutely, they do.
Your rankings, I do this all the time. I love what you do, but your rankings aren't worth the napkin that I write them on or something. I'm like, all right, like I get it. But if you hate rankings don't matter so much, why are you emailing me every single week complaining about them if they don't matter, right? So.
Yeah, the dad or the coach, it's like, I don't really care, but you got my kid way wrong. He's way lower. If
you really didn't care, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. You do care, which is fine. Just admit it. It's fine. It'll make you feel better. But the problem is, like you said, the power rankings, if you will, or the seeding. It's those top 8. You really don't. It really does. The rankings do matter in that case. Your body of work for the shortened season that there was really does matter. Your previous results really do matter, which, I don't envy anybody in that room trying to figure out who you should cut. It's like that island. Who are you gonna vote off the island? There's gonna be a whole heck of a lot of wrestlers that are getting voted off that probably could be competing. I agree with you, Eric. Let's move on. So the Super West region. Okay, this is where things get really dicey. So you have the South Central Regional, which is all of District 3. District 3 will start their sectional matches coming up this weekend or this week on the 20th. But then you'll have a District 3 tournament as well. The South Central will have 3 wrestlers make it to the South Central Regional. So District 3 sends in, let me just make sure I have that there. Yes, so the South Central Region, which is District 3, sends 3 wrestlers to the West Super Region. out of the West Super Region, you have Northwest, which is District 6, District 9, District 10, and District 8, all in the same region, which is the Northwest region. 2 wrestlers, and District 4, I'm sorry, did I forget District 4? I can't, there's so many districts in the Northwest region, it's ridiculous. District 4, District 6, District 8, District 9, and District 10, all in the Northwest. Out of all those districts, 2 wrestlers will make it to the West Super Region. And then let's throw in the WPIAL. So the WPIAL, which, hate it or love it, is the deepest region, deepest district in the state of Pennsylvania, whether you like it or not. People say, well, you're so biased towards the WPIAL. Well, the WPIAL is the deepest. There's no doubt about that. They are going to send 3 wrestlers to the West Super Region. So this is where you're going to have 2 from the Northwest. You look at some of those, Erie Cathedral Prep, Steelands Grove, Williamsport, Mifflin County, State College, Central Mountain, all those schools, you're going to be sending 2 wrestlers. Punxsutawney, shout out Dyson Gold. You're going to have 2 wrestlers make it from the Northwest to the Super Region, 3 from the South Central, which has 58 schools in it, and 45 schools from the Southwest Region, which is District 7. Only 3 make it. So we're talking about a lot of good wrestlers that are going to be sitting at home. In fact, this week I'm going to be having a list come out of all the different weights that have 2 or more state-ranked wrestlers that are not going to be making it past the first weekend, and there's a lot.
You know what you should do, Jeff? You don't have enough on your plate yet. I think you should come up with an NCAA allotment style and say, okay, District 11 should get 2 guys here, but 4 guys at this weight, and this region should get 3 here. And
that would actually make a lot more sense because I hate
it would. But who's going to do it?
Of course,
the
not.
reality.
No one would ever do that. But it is true because
and PIAA is going to take the easy route of, hey, we're going strictly by the numbers. We're not looking at anything else. So I get why it happens.
If the
but that's the
NCAA
way
does
that
it,
would make the most sense.
Why can't we do it that way? Because there's some weights. Let's say like 160 in AAA WPIAL. Like it's a loaded weight class, or even 52, right? You have Rocco Welsh, Alejandro, Jared Kessler. And then you throw in other guys like Garrett Thompson there's a lot of guys there that could potentially make it very far. And if you had NCAA allocations like that, that would be pretty cool. It would be a lot of work, but it would actually make sense. So that's the AAA look in a nutshell. So again, you have 5 regions as opposed to 4 in AA. 2 super regions. One has 2 regions, the other one has 3. So obviously one of those regions would have had to, if it's not the East, then it's the West. If it's not the West, it's the East. Someone's going to have an extra region, if you will, in there. But if you look at the school breakdowns, the West super region has 130 schools. The East has 114 schools. But again, look at the quality of depth between that 130 and 114. It's that's definitely debatable. So yeah, there's a whole lot there, Eric. And we're going to talk more about it on the Power Hour in just about 20 minutes. We're going to jump on, I'm sorry, the War Up podcast. I'm sorry. I know this is the Power Hour, Eric. I apologize. I haven't had my dinner yet.
We switched you up. Normally you do War Up first and then Power Hour later. So I think the switch in the order we're doing it here is just confusing the heck out of you.
Yeah, it is a little bit. And I think all these numbers are confusing me a little bit too. But that's why I put together a document, which I'll be publishing probably tonight or tomorrow, with all this information we talked about in a little bit more simpler form. And if you go to PAWrestling.com, on their front page, you'll see what's called the changes to the 2021 postseason. And Mike has a great breakdown of all the different regions, the districts, and how many qualify. That's the biggest question is a lot of people are asking is how many qualify through. And, everyone's different, right? Because some have subsections, some have sections. Some have sections and districts, some have just districts, like District 5. And District 6 District 6 normally doesn't have, quote, sectionals. It was just this year. Is that correct, Eric?
Yeah, they've in the past they've had two sections at times. It's been probably at least a decade since they've done that. And for the most part, you double A, you've got 22, 24 schools, something like that, and they just bring them all together for a 2-day tournament in Altoona. But yeah, it's been a while since they've had sectionals.
So, and if you look at the schedule, so schedule of events for the postseason coming up. So again, I already mentioned District 10 AA and District 4 AA already had their sectional tournaments this weekend. The next thing that's coming up was the 16th. You have the District 6 sectionals, but you also have your WIPIAL sectionals, subsectionals start to take place. Then the 19th, you'll have those District 7 sectional tournaments. So again, you look at when these things happen. If you're in the WIPIAL and you're in AA, you're wrestling your subsection on the 16th, then you're coming back and wrestling your section tournament the 19th, and then you're wrestling the WIPIAL tournament the 20th. If you continue down the schedule, you've got District 6 tournament taking place. The AA tournament in District 6, Eric, is taking place the 20th. So is the District 6 AA tournament, or AAA tournament. So you have a lot of district tournaments taking place on the 20th, and then you have a lot of your regions, basically all of your regions taking place on the 27th. So we're going to start filing into order here in a little bit when you have your district tournaments. The week of the 20th to 18th is for the District 10 AAA tournament. Then the 19th you have District 2 AA. February 20th, you have District 1 and District 12 and AA. But then the 27th, all the regions take place, which makes it nice and easy, because sometimes you would have regions that had a week off between the regional tournament and the state tournament. Now you're just all wrestling the regional tournament on the 27th. All super regionals will be on the 6th. And, of course, your state tournament will be on the 12th and the 13th of March. So it's a lot, Eric. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to put it to you not in hieroglyphics. I'm going to make it easy for people to see, but I would suggest in the meantime looking at Mike Lester's PAWrestling.com account or webpage, because that has a lot of good information on it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to take in. And I think most people, unlike us, are not trying to look at the entire state. They're concerned mainly with what's going on in their area and who's getting through there. And eventually they'll kind of to worry about those other regions and who they're going to face there. But I think first thing is just try to get a handle on what's going on in each individual area, and everybody will kind of to go from there.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be putting together this worksheet for you to go through. It's almost like a crash course, PA postseason for dummies book, if you will. And
there is going to be a quiz on this, isn't there?
Absolutely, there's going to be a quiz. If you are wrestling, if you are the 10th seed at a District 1 North section, will you have a postseason? No. If you are if you finish top 3 or top 4 in the District 3 sectional tournament, do you advance on?
Yeah, if-then questions. You got to write an essay to get through District 8, and
it's a lot, Eric. Let's just put it that way. It's a lot. So I got to go eat before we do War Up.
Hey,
there. I said
one thing I wanted to tell you too, Jeff. I know I talked to you a little bit about it, but our top heavyweight in the state in AA. Still not quite sure what's going to happen there. I talked with Jalen Stevens of Myersdale on Friday of last week, and he said he's going to go to the doctor on Thursday and find out whether he's able to continue or not. He's got some kind of serious health issues, and he is going to find out Thursday if he's going to be able to wrestle in the postseason and beyond.
Yeah, he's our top ranked heavyweight in the state right now, and that's a huge. He has wrestled this year, Eric, right? He wrestled.
Yeah, he
Friday.
wrestled on Friday for the first time. He had some weight issues, and with his health issues, he just hasn't been able to lose the weight. He was up well over 300 pounds previously, and has been able to get that weight off and get down to 285. He took a forfeit last week, and then he did win a match on Friday, but that's all he's wrestled so far. And so we're gonna find out. Hopefully everything checks out okay for Jalen, and we're able to see him get back on the mat and show what he can do there.
Absolutely. We definitely want to see him back on the mat, and if it's safe for him to do so, we definitely can't wait to see him back, because man, him and a lot of those guys from the Southwest region, there's a lot of studs in that bracket. So it's going to be fun to watch should that happen. So Eric, again, I got to go eat before we're up. So I'm just podcasting all night. We got shows back to back. If you want to stay tuned, you're going to want to watch War Up on the Whippeal here at 7:30. We got 15 minutes before we start that episode here. We're going to be talking to Josh Shields of Burl and also Colton Stone King of Waynesburg. So definitely looking forward to that. Greg and I will break it all down. Hopefully he can break it down better than I can, because I felt like I would just confuse people more. So maybe I should have worked on my delivery better, Eric.
No, you were fine. It's just a lot of information to take in.
It's confusing. You say this, because between the double A and triple A, each district does something different. So for example, in District 3, they're all in District 3, but double A advances through the Southeast region, triple A advances through the West Super region, right? So there's a lot of confusion between divisions and classes and districts and sections, and it's a mess.
And a lot of numbers. If it was District A, B, and C getting 3 guys in, it wouldn't be as bad as District 1 gets 2 and 3 gets 4, and it's like, wait, what was that?
Yeah,
so
it's a mess. So we'll see you back here if you're going to join us for War Up on the Whippeal at 7:30. But if not, we will talk to you very soon. Thank you, Eric, and stay healthy out there.